in safer and cleaner ways. So take a look at your own ring. Maybe it came from places like these as well. In northern Burkina-Faso, on the edge of the Sahara Desert, is Essakane, West Africa's biggest open-pit gold mine. And only a few hundred meters from the perimeter fence, people mine gold by hand in pits dug into the desert. Mamadou Diko has been digging for more than 20 years, and he says we'll never understand how this kind of mining works unless we follow him down.
70 meters. Wow.
The walls close in, and the temperature starts to rise. Or maybe that's just my stress level. It's brutal work. We're drenched in sweat now, and Diko still has to drag a 50-pound bag of rocks back up to the surface. It's just a small taste of his work, which can bring him as much as $60 on a good day, but often leaves him with nothing. It's about 5 kilometers cross-country through the desert to the new hub of activity. After gold was discovered here in April, Gasile Camp has attracted hundreds of people. The organizational structure of these mines is very loose. Each pit has an owner. He gets 50% of everything that comes out. Teams of 10 work in shifts, going down the mine and digging, and then hauling out their bags of rocks. Of the half that they're allowed to keep, half of that goes to their team leader, leaving only 25% of the total to be split up amongst all the other miners. Once the rocks come out of the pits, they're taken to these men, who crush them by hand and taste them to find the gold. The smaller rocks are then passed through these gasoline-powered rock crushers and ground into what they call flour. Only then can it be run through the sluice boxes, where the carpet catches all the gold dust. Gold mining is all anyone's ever done here, scraping out a bare-bones existence. At the end of the day, I went to meet the local gold buyer. He didn't want to be filmed, but he agreed to have a few photos taken of the purchase. His digital scale was out of batteries, so we had to weigh the gold with a balance, putting these 3 coins in one cup and tapping tiny gold nuggets into the other. I couldn't even be sure if this was real gold or if those coins actually weighed what he said they did. But I decided to go ahead and buy 13 grams of gold for about $440. 2 weeks later, and 1,000 kilometers further south, I was in the jungles of western Ghana when I stumbled upon a small-scale gold refinery right beside a schoolyard. The balls are made of gold dust and consolidated with mercury. They'll lose about 20% of their weight after the refining process is over.
I use this acid and I put the acid on the distance so that the acid will remove all the unwanted things inside the gold.
After about 10 minutes, Colin's Ofi Bonsu pulls out the acid and dumps it into a bucket of water to dilute it. He later dumps out the bucket directly onto the ground outside. He burns off the remaining acid and cooks the gold to get rid of the mercury. Finally, Collins adds borax and puts the gold into a little ceramic cup. He buries the crucible in the fire, and after about 20 minutes, out comes pure 24-karat gold. Collins offers to purify my gold for the equivalent of $6. I decided to go ahead, and I paid him, and less than half an hour later, I had a 12-gram ingot of pure gold. Gold is romantic, just like the adventure I went on to get it.
People have to survive. And, you know, as Bob Marley said, you cannot sit by the river and then die of thirst.
yeah, Kuyajuma. Oh, this team. My problem is we are Kuyajuma. You see, I be away. Over finding in Asia, in our break. Only will be an over top. Into Tiana, which are now with him. Dear, whom said Galamsino, go do assassin. And I shall say, the hoarding bay, you need to get behind Fidi by the hoarding able to form the upper anodian. You 2 years, you 2 years, Yaka cried about Toby and Eddie. And we can about to see you 2 assassin.
These mining, what we call the Galamsey, they are sort of uninvited guests. As soon as any area comes up for mining, they also rush there. It's just like rush for gold that happened in America.
There are those who do it purely for livelihood reasons. These are those who live in the communities. They are indigents. They grew up in the communities. If you check their background, you realize that they are children of parents who lost their farmlands to large-scale surface mining companies. The mining company took over their lands, very little or no compensation was paid, and therefore they had to either drop out of school or they couldn't continue after the basic level. So they don't have the skills, they don't have the certificate, the academic certificates to even gain employment in the mine. So what do? They are forced to go into small-scale mining or Galamsey.
In short, they call it Galamsey, which means gather and sell it. So you practice it small, then you add it together, then you sell it. That's why they call it Galamsey. I'll take sample of this soil for you to see how best the gold is. This is the wood.
Chebiro Lulu, Mayana can go look at it, Luturo. You know my yara or the beta, the Dolabo Yabina. And the Chalavayani could lila by tea sudo, along me so. I'm not tameable. Cho nó mà rồi đi show âm nhạc giờ đó mình sao ra mình xí đi cũng mà âm nhạc bây giờ nó nên xí đấy show này âm nhạc sợ gì mấy rồi đi về chơi à âm nhạc giờ đi về chơi à mấy rồi hả đi.
Upapu owns a mine plot along the Blue Stream. Upapu has been mining in the area for more than 10 months. He said his business depends on luck. Many of the gold mining operations are small scale. There are over 120 machines in the gold mining area at the Blue Stream. Workers and mine owners come from all over Burma.
Honey? Раз.
Cho ye sa.
Like